All right, here we go. What's up, guys? Today we're just talking about all the amazing announcements that have been coming out of like all the different showcases. We got Summer Games Fest, we got Future Games Showcase, we got Xbox Showcase, the Ubisoft Forward, the Capcom Showcase. We're gonna talk about it real quick. Don't worry. Yeah, so there's some great announcements. I'm not going to cover every single one of them. There's just a ton of them, and a lot of them that I just don't care about. So I'm going to hit on ones that I'm really interested in. I'm sure I've missed some in this, but that's quite a list already. So yeah, hop in. Make sure you let me know which ones you're excited for. Do you like the same ones I do? You got interested in other ones? Whatever it is, just let me know. Starting off, we're just going to kind of go in order of how they came out. So Summer Games Fest. So first off, just like general thoughts. I thought Jeff put on a pretty good show. You know, I had fairly good pacing. He had a lot of good and different announcements. There's a good variety. We didn't have Fast and Furious or anything, you know. But I thought he put on a pretty darn good show. I like Jeff a lot. I think he's really personable, and I really enjoyed what he did. So here's what we got. We got, for me, the very first game they showed was Prince of Persia: Lost Kingdom. That looks super sick, right? That's the kind of 2.5D side-scrolling action, whatever. I mean, it looks really, really awesome. The action looks on point. You know, gameplay, all of it. Like the art style for those cinematics was super cool. It's a little different, right? Almost like edgy cell shaded, I guess. I don't know. Is that what you call it? Whatever. It looks cool. I'm really excited about that one. That one's gonna be a good time. So that's definitely one on my list. Next thing that I saw in there was Lies of P. We've been seeing this for a while, right? This isn't a new announcement or anything, but they gave us the full release date of September 19th. Awesome. It's going to Game Pass day one. So if you have an Xbox or on PC, which is what I'm going to play it on, you don't have to buy it. You got it right there. And they released a demo. They released a demo, which is awesome. Demos are tremendous. I love that. Square has been on a tear with those, and so hopefully more and more companies keep coming out with that kind of thing. So really cool. Next was Spider-Man 2, which obviously we just saw in the PlayStation Showcase, but they came and gave the date. I guess they had to give Jeff something. I'm not really sure. But October 20th is release date for Spider-Man 2. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's cool that they gave him the date. It's a little weird to me that they just kind of re-showed the trailer and did that. But I suppose, you know, one of the things is, as gamers that we kind of take for granted, I think, is that while we watch every single showcase, there are plenty of people who might only catch one. And so, yeah, we get annoyed because they show the same trailer at like 500 different times or whatever. But they're trying to reach a big group of people, and not everyone's going to watch everything. So I get it, but yeah, anyway, Spider-Man 2 looks awesome, and the release date in October is pretty cool. Next up is Pal World. That's that, like, adult Pokemon. I mean, it's crazy, right? It kind of looks like they ripped Pokemon designs and just changed some colors and stuff, but it looks way better than any Pokemon game has ever looked. And but it's with guns and stuff. I don't know that it's gonna be good. It just kind of has my interest, you know? So we'll have to see, but that's coming into early access in January. So we'll get to find out if it's any good, which I think is a really good idea, actually, right? Like, if they're confident in what they're making, then putting it out in early access and taking feedback and fixing it up, I mean, is probably a really good idea for them. So that's cool. The next up was Ever Crisis. Now it's that Final Fantasy VII game on mobile, and I'm really stoked for that, which is funny because I think probably like a lot of you, but I don't play a lot of mobile games. Like, I just don't like the feel of it on my phone. You know what I mean? But this one looks pretty good, and having the whole story of kind of everything, and in an art style that I actually think is decent. Like, a lot of times I kind of do weird art styles that I am not a fan of, but this one I am. I like the way it looks. So we'll have to see what it comes out to at the end, but yeah, I actually think it looks pretty good. Next up was Banishers: Ghost of a New Eden. See that one? Sick trailer, number one. Really good trailer, but I'm not sure that this is going to be for me. But I think I might be, right? The action combat and stuff that it showed, like, that looked pretty cool. So we'll have to see. I still want to see more. It says that it's coming out the end of this year. I would bet that gets delayed. But I mean, I could be wrong. I don't feel like we've seen enough to justify that it's going to come out in the next 6 months, you know? But either way, to me, it looks cool. Hopefully it delivers when it does come out. And then, of course, he ended the show with the banger Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer. Whew, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm so excited for that, man. There are so many cool things in that trailer. No, I have not watched it 100 times and analyzed everything. No, sorry. I just don't do that. That's not my cup of tea. I know some guys who do. Taylor at the Gaming Shelf has some stuff. I'm sure there's tons of YouTubers out there that have done a lot of stuff on there. But I just enjoyed it. I took in. I saw some things that are cool. I saw, playable Red 13 is awesome, and it's gonna be fun. I'm super excited for that game. Loved Remake, and Rebirth's gonna be awesome. So yeah, so that's that. That was Summer Game Fest. Pretty good show, I thought. I mean, for me, if you think about it, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games I'm coming away with. There's others that kind of caught my interest, maybe a touch, but not as much. But still, that's a pretty good show, I would say. All right, next up is a future game show, and I would bet that out of all of these, this is probably the one that most of you did not watch. I recommend it. I thought this was a pretty decent show. They had 2 voice actors doing the hosting. It was Yuri Lowenthal, who's the voice of Spider-Man, and of course, among others. And then I'm losing her name, but she does Abby in The Last of Us 2. And they were great. They were great. So that made it enjoyable. They were funny and making good remarks to each other. It was actually a really good show. And so they had a couple of things I really enjoyed. They had Resistor, which they're calling a car PG. I like that. But it has a really cool cartoony art style, and it's an RPG where you're a driver of a car, but there's a whole story, and they didn't show any elements of you out of your car outside of like cutscenes, but maybe there is, who knows. But it looks cool. The Last Faith is a Souls-like Metroidvania. Now, we've known about this for quite a while, but it showed up here, and it might have even gotten a release date. If it did, I didn't write it down. Well, that's my bad. But either way, it looks awesome. Last Faith has looked cool since it showed up. It might have even been on Kickstarter. I'm not sure. But yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good. So check that one out if you like, Metroidvanias at all. It looks really cool. Lords of the Fallen showed up with a lot of gameplay. Now that's that Souls-like where there's kind of like 2 worlds, and you can like travel back and forth. They were explaining it. It's kind of an interesting mechanic, right? Where it's like you can die. It's like you have 2 lives. If you die in one, you will raise in the next one. It's really fascinating. I still don't completely understand their mechanics, but the combat looks cool. The bosses look awesome, and all the different builds. I mean, it's a Dark Souls type game, right? And so if you like that style of game, I think this one looks pretty good for that genre, subgenre, whatever you want to call it. If you don't like those games, you probably won't like it, right? So pretty simple, but I thought it looked pretty good. Another one, and this one I'm probably not as sure of, but it caught my attention at least, right? And that is Steel Seed. This is like a robotic stealth game, I guess. It's hard to explain, but you had kind of like a robot companion, and then I think you were human, but everything else is robot. But the suit that person wears makes you look more robotic anyway. But it's a old-fashioned stealth game, and I love those. But this one also had combat, I guess. They were showing different ways to do combat and how you could get, you have these huge, expansive like skill trees and stuff that you could get to help with combat. I don't know. It looked good though. I thought it looked really interesting. It probably wouldn't be at like the top of my list or anything, but it'd be in there. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, another thing they had was this game called Go Fight Fantastic, which I don't love the name, but whatever. But it kind of looks like Secret of Mana with better combat. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I mean, that's kind of what it looked like, right? It was colorful, and it had kind of that zoomed off camera. You could do multiplayer, and people are just kind of in there fighting all the bad guys or whatever, and it looked fun. I mean, it's hard to know a lot from it, but it looked like something maybe I could play with my kids, and I could get them through an RPG, you know what I mean? And so that's why I had my attention. I'm always looking for games that I can play with my kids to kind of show them more of the RPG stuff that I love. As they're getting older, that's more interesting to them. And so, so that I think that could be a lot of fun. We'll see, but it looks like it could be fun. And then the last up on that one is Shattered Heaven, which is like a deck builder dark fantasy RPG. I shy away from deck builder games. I just usually do. But the truth is I don't have good reason, because I've played some and really enjoyed them. I just don't, in my head, I don't like the mechanic, and so I think that I won't like the game. But the art style of this game looked really cool. Kind of the story they were sharing in the trailer sounds really good. I think it could be a lot of fun. So I'm going to try to give that a shot when it comes out. But yeah, Shattered Heaven looks pretty cool. And that's the end of the Future Game Showcase for me. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show again. So if you haven't, I recommend checking it out, see what you like. All right, next up was Xbox Showcase. And if you didn't watch this, man, do yourself a favor and go watch it. This is one of the best showcases this whole time. Xbox did awesome. It had good pacing, mostly. It was a really great show. I mean, really, they basically went like announcement, just like right off, right? They really kind of fixed their formula. I thought it was really good. There's one part where a lady came out talking, and there's nothing wrong with her except that she did that kind of like where you talk really slow and take a lot of breaks in between your sentences. You know what I'm saying? Just like I did there, like it feels unnatural, especially when it combined with the quick pace of the rest of the show. So that was a little odd. But that said, they had some really great stuff. All right, they start off with Fable, which looks awesome. We got a long way to go, I still feel like, before we're getting like good gameplay and the stuff that we want, right? But it showed in-game footage. It showed, kind of like the basics of what it looks like in some gameplay. I know they're going to try to shoot that off as gameplay. I don't think it is. That's in-game footage. But it still looks good. I love the art of it. The comedy sounds right. I mean, the feel of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. I loved the first Fable games. All three of them were tremendous. 2 is on one of my top games of all time. So yeah, so Fable looks great, and of course it's an Xbox game, which means it's Game Pass day one. So lots to look forward there too. Another thing they showed up with was Star Wars Outlaws, which showed up again later in Ubisoft, but for Xbox this was the first look, and it's kind of like it's a third-person Star Wars game. Now here they didn't show gameplay, right? This is just kind of like a cinematic trailer, and so they brought it up again at Ubisoft, but in that one they showed third-person, action RPG-esque. I'm not sure how much of an RPG it is, but but it looks good. I mean, it's kind of like a female Han Solo type character. She's got a really cute like alien companion thing that looks awesome. Yeah, I recommend watching the gameplay trailer. It looks really good. I'm pretty stoked for that one. After that, we had 33 Immortals, and this is kind of an interesting one. Like it has kind of an Hades art style almost. But it can go up to 33 players in co-op, which looks insane. Like, I feel like this is gonna crash some systems. You know what I mean? But I don't know how much I'm honestly gonna play that. Like, you can play it solo, but it looked like it's probably a lot harder. But I mean, if you can play solo, I might give that a shot. I don't remember catching. I don't think this one's Game Pass day one, but I could have missed that. So anyway, but it looks cool. Love the art style. All right, oh man, we got some bangers in this show, guys. Bangers. Persona 3 Reload. Now, we've seen this, right? This one, the trailer got leaked. This has been, I mean, Persona 3 Remake has been in rumor mill for like a year or so, right? I mean, we've known about this. But man, it looks so good. It looks so good. The art style, they've taken the stuff they've learned from Persona 5 and brought it in. I mean, the menus look slick. Combat looks awesome. Like, this is so good. Especially if you haven't played Persona 3 before, you're gonna have to do this. But like, I played Persona 3 forever ago, and so I am really looking forward to this. And it's gonna be on stinking Game Pass. That's insane. That's awesome. That game's gonna be good. Really looking forward to that. All right, next on my list is Avowed. Avowed is Obsidian, right? So that's Game Pass. That's Xbox, so it's gonna be on Game Pass. It's that, now, this is Obsidian, who makes tremendous RPGs, right? They have great writers. There's a lot of good stuff in their catalog. I think they messed up a little bit. And what I mean by that is not that the game looks bad. I think it looks great. But the first time they showed Avowed, it looked kind of darker, more realistic Skyrim-esque. In the new trailer, it's not, right? It's more cartoony, more colorful. Yeah, it just doesn't look like that same quality. The truth is, I think it's really great quality. I think it looks good. I think the colors are awesome. I think a little bit of cartoony is not a problem, right? It's just because the first trailer didn't look like that, I think, which throws it off. So that's a bummer. But if you just kind of ignore the first trailer and just watch this one, I think it looks good. I'm bummed that it sounds like it's going to be first person only. I like having the option like Bethesda does, right, where you can play third person, because that's how I prefer to play. But I can play first person games, and if it's if there's a good story there, and if it's fun, Obsidian they're such good writers, so I think it's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, again, it's Game Pass day one, so you can just try it out. All right, next up is Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. That's an interesting one. I don't even know how to describe it, right? It's like Japanese folklore monsters, right? So it's almost like you took, what was that one? I can't remember now. There's like the first person magic hand shaped one. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then mixing it with something like, I don't know, third person action game that I can't think of right now, And it's very colorful. Monsters are kind of grotesque, but also really interesting looking. I don't know what to think about this one yet, because I don't really understand what you're doing or what it's going to look like when you're playing. But it looks interesting. So it has my attention. And this, again, is coming to Game Pass, which surprised me, because this is a Capcom game. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one. I'm not sure that that's one I'm going to really touch, but it looks interesting. So it's on my radar. After that on my list, I have another Persona game, Persona 5 Tactica. Now this is, like it sounds like, Persona 5 and a tactics game. My one issue is that they kind of made it the more chibi art style, which is not my favorite, right? Like, I like proportional characters better than like the giant heads. I know some people love that art style, and so that's great. That's not my favorite, but it still looks fun. I love tactics games. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorites of all time, if not the top, right? So you mix Persona 5, which is one of my top 10 games of all time, with a tactics system. I mean, that sounds like a win. But I want to play it. But again, it's supposed to go to Game Pass, unless I'm mistaken, which is possible. But I'm pretty sure this one's going to Game Pass too. So yeah, man, we're going to be eating good. Awesome. Really good. Okay, after that, we got Starfield. Now, I like Bethesda, right? I enjoy Fallout games. I have enjoyed Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls games. I wasn't sure about Starfield. But after watching the showcase and then seeing the extended look at it after, wow. This game looks massive. It's huge. And that's not everything, right? But the design looks cool, the art style, the art direction, the sounds they were playing. Oh my gosh, you can change your ship, change your character, all the different weapon types, all the different skill trees, all the ways you can handle things. Like, holy cow, this game looks amazing. Again, it's Game Pass day one. Like, this is coming out in September, like September 6th, I think it is, right? Wow. Just looks absolutely incredible, and I am ready. That game's gonna take over my life. Not really. I got too many things going on, but I'm gonna play it a lot. So be on the lookout. We'll be talking about that one. Okay, and then the last one on my list, and this one blew me away, is Metaphor ReFantazio. Holy crap, guys. This is ReFantasy, right? This is Project ReFantasy from Atlas. Okay, this is something we have been talking about. We said that I think not that long ago, I talked about how this game was on the docket. I expected it to show up. I think I even mentioned it as one for the PlayStation Showcase. Obviously it didn't show up there, but it showed up here. And holy cow, it looks amazing. I mean, just assume it's Persona, but in fantasy, and oh man, I am so stinking excited for this game. That is my takeaway, and I believe that was coming to Game Pass too, which is insane. Like, what kind of check did Microsoft cut Atlas and Sega that they're getting all these games in Game Pass day one? Now, they're not exclusive to Xbox. I know that's what you're going to hear everywhere, but this happened before. It's like a couple of days or a week or something where they have like exclusive marketing deal, and then it'll show up that it's coming to the other systems. This one won't go to Switch, I don't think, but I do think it'll go to PlayStation and PC. So just be aware of that. But yeah, awesome. It looks great. Okay, next that's the end of the Xbox showcase. It was a really great show. After that, we had the Ubisoft showcase, which was actually a really good show. It just didn't have anything new for me. It showed more of Prince of Persia, which looks awesome. It showed more of the Star Wars games, and that's where you get the gameplay trailer that you want. It really looks good. So that was great. Yeah, so that's the Ubisoft showcase. Then there was a Capcom showcase. Capcom just does not have this figured out. It was rough. It was rough to watch. But they did have some stuff, right? Pragmata got delayed again, but what they showed has my interest. I don't know if it's going to be my type of game because I don't really show you what you're going to be doing. But it's caught my attention because it looks interesting. You know what I'm saying? After that, they showed Kinisugami again. I don't know that they actually added anything to that. So that's kind of a bummer. But there's a trailer. Then they showed Dragon's Dogma 2 again. Same trailer as before from PlayStation, but then they talked about it and some things that were going to happen, some things that were the same, some things that were different. And I loved the first Dragon's Dogma. Loved it. Okay, I've played it probably 3 or 4 times. I love the systems in there. I just really love that game. And so the second one, that basically, really, it looks mostly like that, but upgraded and better. I mean, you don't have to do much to sell me on that. I'm gonna play that, and it looks amazing. So, yeah, so that's a wrap. That's the showcases so far. This is the season, though, so we're gonna get some more little ones coming up, and we'll talk about those as their stuff. But there's so much. I just want to kind of condense it. And so, yeah. So let me know in the comments, like, what did you like? Do you like some of the same ones I am? Do you think some of these look like crap? I mean, let me know what you thought. What were your takeaways from these showcases? If you enjoy videos like this, hit the like button for me. It helps out a lot. And, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We do videos like this and lists and reviews and stuff all the time. And so hang out. Have a good time. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one.